morning, millennials. Welcome back to the Morning Toast. Happy Tuesday.
Tuesday this week is just crawling by.
Yeah, and Theo's here today, so I thought it might be Wednesday because that's Theo's day, hump day. But no, it's Tuesday. Didn't mean to alarm anyone. It's just I took a nap yesterday, so I feel like it was really 2 days yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was a long one. I just feel as though this week's going to be a long one as well. But we have Theodora here. And,
Crunchy Angel Dora.
Lovey man Dora.
One and only Dora.
My whole heart Dora.
Love of my life Dora.
Beautiful boy Dora.
Soft and sweet Dora.
Delicious lips Dora.
Nutritious lips Dora.
Superstitious hips Dora.
Crunchy Angel Dora. Yes, Theo is in studio today, and that means we're going to have a great show. We're going to be filled with excitement, joy, and uniqueness, nerve, and talent because Theo's here and he just gives us
he gives us that je ne sais quoi. Like some people are like the Morning Toast, like I don't know what it is about that show. I just like feel like I relate to these girls and I relate to the show, and like, you know, I could be going through a tough time, but like the Morning Toast allows me to just forget about that for 30 minutes to an hour, closer to 30 minutes these days.
Literally, I was actually thinking yesterday was like some days are longer than others because if we have TV recap, and yesterday we had movie of the week recap, and our episode was still 37 minutes long. Like, and when we were done, I'm like, damn, that was an hour. We used to like roll off with our episodes, but just there's so little news.
It's a combination of things. First of all, we used to have like active, vibrant, busy lives, and we would sit for at least 10 minutes before we got into the news and just talk about like where we went to dinner last night, something funny that happened to us without even like planning it. We just like always had something to share.
Yeah.
Here's something funny that happened to me yesterday. I fell asleep and I woke up sweating. Like
same.
I took a nap and I woke up in a deep sweat.
Me too.
Dun dun.
Literally, I had the same exact experience.
Also, like the stories were more robust pre-Q because the celebrities were having similar experiences, going to dinner. Yeah. You know, having vibrant lives.
Making relationships.
Yeah. And then also, yeah, there was just like more buffer stuff when we all were like living the life of Riley, and now it's just like, here's the news, and it's pretty sad.
Yeah, most of the news is really sad, and at the end of the day, like, of course we have to report on it, but there's not much to say with like sad stories, and it's like in the last week I feel like 5 or 6 celebrities have passed away. Like it's so many people, and those stories are just so hard to report on, and most of the time there's really nothing to say other than the fact that we're just like devastated. So our episodes, through really no fault of our own, have been super short, but let's try and make this one.
It is because they're expeditious, and we do cut to the chase, you know, and we say what we need to say.
We're so expeditious.
And maybe it would behoove us to be a little more lackadaisical in our talking and our thinking.
Also, if we spoke at a normal speed, our episodes would be 60 to 75 minutes, but that's just not our fault because we were born this way, baby.
You know what? We've tried that. And that's just not who we are. It's not who we're ever going to be.
But I can't believe like we didn't just jump into this immediately because something really exciting did happen to us yesterday. We made the unbelievable discovery that not only are the people at Sports Illustrated, but MJ Day herself fans of the Morning Toast because they listened to our episode and they loved what we had to say, and they were like commenting on our Instagram, and it was I was joking when I said yesterday that I was disappointed that it wasn't me on the cover, but you never know. 2021 could be my year.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, I really do feel as though if you wanted to, like, you could apply for the Swim Search and you could get in the magazine for 2021. Like, why not you? I feel like they do cool stuff, influencer integration all the time. You're such a role model.
Thank you.
And you're so body positive.
I'm so body positive.
And I just feel like if that's what you wanted, you can make it happen.
The thing is, it's not really what I want. Like, I don't want to be in a bathing suit, like, professionally. But at the end of the day, if the opportunity arises, like, I would, of course, take the opportunity. It's just like on my list of things, like bikini model is really not super high up. But again, I'll take the opportunity.
Yeah, you just have to say yes to life. And when MJ calls, you answer.
When MJ calls, I answer. Speaking of saying yes to opportunities to life, Ben yesterday made the decision to sign us both up for American Idol auditions because they're being done remotely, so you don't have to stand in line. You can send in a video.
That's nice.
And I was shocked to learn when I got the email, like, to finish my video upload, that, you know, you have to be 17 to audition for American Idol and you can't be older than 28.
Interesting.
Isn't
I wonder what the reason
so ageist? As a spokesperson for ageism, how do you feel about that?
I'm sure they have their reasons, and I'd be interested in hearing the reasoning.
How old was Taylor Hicks?
He was graying early, so that's not.
Yeah, but still, was he graying at 21?
Yeah, no, like he was graying in his 20s for sure.
Okay.
29.
29.
Oh, so they definitely moved the age down.
I'm just saying, and it's a little. I'm not going to finish the tryouts. I don't think that my life isn't going to happen that way. Like I have a pretty good idea of how my life is going to plan out roadmap wise. And it's just I'm not going to win American Idol. I just don't think that's what's going to happen.
Well, man plans, God laughs. Who knows?
That's
you
true.
Could be on that stage singing your song.
Make a plan.
Oh God.
Make a plan.
Okay, I'm planning.
Right, make a plan.
I have it. I'm planning in my
No,
head.
you need to plan with your hand.
I'm planning in my head.
You use a planner.
Not these days. My planner's empty.
Oh my God. Okay,
I'm planning
fine.
in my head.
Whatever. You were in the joke. I'm not going to do it anymore.
Okay. Well, you have to God also fucks with your plans in your head, not just the ones on your planner.
Yeah, but we're on like this visual show, and I thought it would be
It's
like
a podcast.
funny.
It's a podcast.
It's a web show. Don't insult iCarly.
It's also a podcast.
It's a web show.
It's mostly a podcast.
That is true. Actually, or as someone once called it, a little Instagram show, which was so sweet.
But unfortunately, we no longer fit that criteria.
Yes, remember when we used to live stream on Facebook and Instagram?
Yep.
Those were the days. So many platforms, so little time.
No, we were figuring it out. Now we've got it down to a science.
We've got it down to a science.
Okay, I guess we could get into it now.
Yes, well, we have fabulous Fast Five, and we have some Kelly's Mindless News, which I'm so excited about.
That's
so
exciting.
It's going to be hard for me not to like rush through to the end because you're actually, of all the Mindless News, I love choosing the Mindless News stories. It's the most gratifying part of my job, I would say. And today's story in particular has to be one of the most absurd. Like, it's insanity.
Really? Crazier Than the Porch? That was literally...
It's on the same level. It's the same type of story.
Okay, I think I might, like, now people tag me in KMN all the time. So I don't want, like, KMN spoilers because I love when you share, like, the news that I had to see in order to believe.
And what's also so, full circle about the KMN story is that it's from AOL.com, which used to host our show until they fired us. So it's just really, it's nice to make a full circle moment,
Great. Well, I'm excited to see, like, what AOL.com is pushing for KMN.
Yeah, no, it's nice to see what they're up to since they let go of two of their biggest stars.
Biggest and brightest stars.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think without further ado, it is time for the Fast 5 stories that you need to know before you wake up and take a bite out of your morning toast.
You. In case you don't think that it's you, it's you.
Yeah, if you're, like, sitting there, like, it's not me.
Yeah.
It's you.
No, I find that a lot of people sit there and think, it's not me. But...
It's not me.
You.
It's you.
It's you. It's you, guys. It's you. So I'm ready.
I'm ready too. Okay, we have a lot of big stories about like
follow-ups, developments.
But unfortunately, Naya Rivera's body was recovered on the 7-year anniversary of Cory Monteith's death.
Spooky.
The discovery of Naya Rivera's body early Monday in a California lake tragically coincides with the anniversary of her Glee co-star Cory Monteith's death. Rivera's body was pulled from the waters of Lake Piru, about 56 miles northwest of downtown Los Angeles, exactly 7 years after Monteith died of a drug overdose. So, the details have emerged about what the police think might have happened.
Right. They spoke with her son.
Yeah. And they said that she, quote, mustered enough energy to get her son on the boat, but not enough to save herself.
Oh, my God.
Naya Rivera's final moments were spent saving the person she loved most, according to investigators. On Monday, the former Glee star's body was found 5 days after she went missing during a boating trip at Lake Piru in Ventura County with her 4-year-old son, Josie. At a news conference on Monday afternoon, Ventura County Sheriff Bill Ayub recounted what her son told authorities about the tragic accident. Quote, "We know from speaking with her son that he and Naya swam in the lake together at some point during their journey. It was during that time that her son described being helped into the boat by Naya, who boosted him onto the deck from behind. He told investigators that he looked back and saw her disappear under the surface of the water."
Wow, by the way, that's so tragic. Like, to be in the presence of the moment. Like, it's just, this child is, I'm so glad he's okay. And like, Naya's an amazing mom, and like
she made sure he was okay.
Sure, and like it's such a terrible story, and like the more we learn about it, the more devastating and tragic that it is. And just the more you like, Naya Rivera like was a big star, but like she's been kind of low key like since Glee stopped airing, and you didn't really know that much about her. And just seeing all these people share their moments with her, like Becca Tobin shared such a nice. All the Glee cast
said the nicest things about her, just that she was just this bright star, someone who could make you feel like you were so important and
someone
special.
Who was so nice. When like what we know about her is her character Santana, who is an iconic mean cheerleader, but she obviously wasn't really like that. So it was just cool to like see all these people sharing behind the scenes Glee moments and just like pictures and memories that I found to be really endearing. And the connection of this also being on the day where Cory Monteith had tragically passed away as well. Like, this is a little too spooky for me.
Yeah.
I can't think too much about it.
It is pretty spooky. I'm glad that her family has peace now, and that they're getting some answers.
Yeah.
But this is just a terribly tragic story.
And following up on something I said yesterday, which is the media's inability to give people space, there were paparazzi pictures of the coroner pulling, it was her body was in a bag, but there were pictures of them pulling her out of the lake.
Where do you see these pictures?
Twitter.
Oh.
It's so fucking insane and disrespectful. And then it reminded me where, like, we saw a picture of Jeffrey Epstein's body. Well, you really only saw his ear when he was pulled out of the prison where he, quote unquote, committed suicide. But, like, he's a disgraced humanitarian. No, sorry, a disgraced human. He's not a humanitarian. He's a disgraced human. He does not deserve the right to privacy or that type of respect. But Naya Rivera, like, this is such a tragedy, and she was just a mom, you know? Like, it's incredibly, I never cease to be let down and disappointed by, like, the lengths that the media will go.
Yeah, that's sick. Once again,
It's sick.
I didn't know. Major publications like aren't posting photos like that, but the fact that there's even people taking them, that means that there's someone asking
There's a demand for it.
Yeah.
Someone asked for it, exactly.
Yeah.
It's so upsetting. Like,
it's so wrong.
And it didn't say who, but a bunch of the Glee cast members got together, like, on a dock by, like, Lake Piru, and I guess just, like, held a moment of silence, which was really sweet. I mean, there's a lot going on in the Glee fandom, especially as it pertains to Lea Michele.
Because she deleted her Twitter.
She deleted her Twitter. I read online it was because people were, like, bullying her on Twitter. About what's going on with Naya, because there have been rumors for years that her and Naya did not get along on the set of Glee, especially towards the end. And Naya wrote a book, which actually I would be really interested to read. Apparently it was really juicy, and it had some stuff about Lea Michele in there, so I'd be curious to hear what it said. But Lea Michele is just, like, not having a good month.
Yeah. No. She's not, but she's pregnant, so
right.
That's exciting for her.
I hope she's just not causing too much stress. That's not good.
I actually just was looking at her Instagram, and she's, like, so pregnant.
So pregnant.
Yeah, so I guess it's a happy time for her, regardless.
I guess, yeah.
Anyways, another very, very sad story. 24-year-old YouTube star Nicole Thea dies along with her unborn child.
What the fuck?
The London-based influencer's family confirmed the news on Sunday in an Instagram post stating that Thea's unborn son had also died. Quote, "To all Nicole's friends and supporters, it is with great sadness that I have to inform you that Nicole and her son, she and Boga named Rain, sadly passed away on Saturday morning," the statement read. The message explained that Thea had pre-scheduled a few YouTube videos to upload on her channel before her death, and her boyfriend Boga had made the decision to allow them to be aired. The family asked for privacy, saying, "Our hearts are truly broken and we are struggling to cope with what has happened. The cause of Thea's death is not yet known. The former dancer was around 8 months pregnant."
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What, like, when I heard this story, I'm like, what could happen this year that, like, would surprise me? Like, this is so tragic, so insane to be so young and to die so young, and then to die when you're also so young and pregnant, 8 months pregnant. That's just awful.
Awful.
A terrible
it's a
story.
Terrible story. It just gives you a pit in your stomach.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
This is one of those stories. There's really nothing to say. It's absolutely horrible, so tragic, and really just thinking and praying for her family. I mean, 2 losses in one. It's horrible.
Yeah, that's really terrible.
You're not getting pulled over. There's some drama behind us. Please just.
We're getting pulled over.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We haven't had a siren in
I'm not going to lie. I kind of missed it. Like, when we were on Zoom, it was so much less exciting.
I hope everyone's okay. That siren's getting pretty close.
Yeah, we can mute ourselves. sorry about that, you guys. Today's episode, before we dive into the next story, I just want to remind you, is brought to you by Health Code. You want to eat healthy, but you probably don't have the time, maybe not the budget, or the know-how, right? You'll love what we just discovered. An easy, delicious, perfectly nutritious, and superstitious meal replacement shake from Health Code. It gives you exactly what your body needs for weight management and your overall health. If you've tried other things, it's incredible that you can get it all in one shake. You can save money and feel better. And you can now get a special offer at gethealth.com, which is GETHLTH.com, and use the code TOAST for a special offer at gethealth, GETHLTH.com, code TOAST. Health Code wasn't created by a celebrity. It was formulated by an actual scientist who specializes in metabolism and nutrition. You want to lose fat, but want to keep lean muscle mass. That's why they've included 27 grams of the best quality protein, including collagen for healthy hair, skin, and nails. You need a healthy gut, so Health Code Complete Meal has probiotics, digestive enzymes, prebiotic fiber, and apple cider vinegar. It also has 25 vitamins and minerals, plus healthy fats for a healthy brain and metabolism. It only has 4 grams of carbs, so it is keto season friendly, which is why when we got our box, I gave an entire package to Ben because he's constantly on the hunt for keto-friendly options. It's also natural. It has no GMOs or artificial junk, 0 added sugar, and it tastes amazing. It's very satisfying, and it keeps us full for hours. Both flavors taste really good. The shake is available in 2 flavors, chocolate macadamia and creamy vanilla. Ben likes the creamy vanilla better. If you want to get a special offer, again, the link is gethealth.com, GETHLTH.com. Just use the discount code TOAST for an extra 10% off your first order. They also have a love it or your money back guarantee, but this offer is only available for a limited time, so go to gethealth.com using the discount code TOAST to check it out.
Love it. Sign on, get health.
Sign on, get the fuck help.
Okay, next story. It's a big story out there right now. Will Smith says marriage ain't for the weak at heart. How he and Jada Pinkett Smith reunited after their split. Okay, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith are giving a candid look at the ups and downs in their marriage after the actress confirmed she'd had a romantic relationship. Well, she confirmed she had an entanglement.
Yeah, she was being very roundabout, circling the drain with her verbiage.
With singer August Alsina while they had been briefly separated.
He came out and said, I'm in a relationship with Jada, or I was in a relationship, and the world was shook by it, and they went to the Red Table Talk, but they said they were planning on ignoring it. They have been, people have spoken about them for years. There have been very many rumors that they have some sort of arrangement in their marriage, where it's an open relationship, where it's they're very much in love, they're very much married partners, but they also see other people, which if that's the case, that's totally fine. Everyone does what they have to do to get through. But they actually denied that on their show, which I thought was really impressive because, they're big stars. They don't have to address all this drama.
So they don't have to address the drama, but considering this is now Jada's job where she addresses other people's drama and rumors and headlines, I don't know how she could do the next Red Table Talk not having addressed this at all, considering it's true.
Right, that's true. It is her job now.
If they were completely false, they don't have to address it. It doesn't matter. People are going to talk and haters are going to hate. But she told us it's true.
Yeah.
He wasn't lying.
Well, he wasn't lying, but they did have an explanation, which the explanation was basically Will Smith and Jada said that when August and Jada were in this relationship, it was during a time when Will and Jada were separated. They were thinking about getting divorced, but the marriage was over.
They were not together.
They were not together, which makes a lot of sense, obviously.
Which is... Okay, so here's how
the conversation was so awkward.
It was, but then you can also tell they said they're ride or die. They have each other's backs. I don't know if this is the whole truth, but it works for them. It's what they felt comfortable sharing, and it also works for the people who are Will and Jada, Hollywood royalty couple forever, and there's also people who read the blinds and are
they have an open relationship.
There's, word swingers is being thrown around.
Yeah.
And so I think that the Red Table Talk, for me, I didn't need it. I don't care what you do, and if you slept with someone else, I really don't care.
I totally agree.
It's your life, it's your marriage, whether you were together at the time or separated. Again, it's not my business, and I don't care. So I didn't need it, but I feel people who really believe in their marriage.
People who idolize them as a couple, I get that, but at the same time, I get that we live in this world where we feel like celebrities don't have a right to any privacy. And like, I guess in some ways I subscribe to that notion. Like, I'm obsessed with celebrity culture, but there are certain things where I feel like people just don't owe us an explanation. And this is one of those things. It's like, this is such a private matter. Like, yes, we know them as a couple, but at the end of the day, like, certain things can and should be private. And I don't feel like I am owed like an explanation or an apology for what goes on between two people in their marriage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't feel like I need that either, but I guess other people feel that way and they felt the need to speak on it. And I feel like what they said suffices in terms of like still being able to ship them and, you know, see them as like this institution, as Karen would either say, their marriage is an institution, which it is in Hollywood. Being married for 20 years is no small feat.
None at all. And I agree. Like, people, and maybe this is like part of why they've stayed successful and relevant for so long is A, because they both work a lot, but B, because people just really love them and their family. And maybe like for business wise, like they didn't want to just not address the rumors because, like I said, so many people look up to them and so much like a part of their brand is like their successful marriage in Hollywood. So maybe addressing it is just like good for business.
It is good for business because this was the most watched Facebook watch video of
30
all
million
time.
Views.
Yeah.
That was insane.
Yeah. So I'm sure she did really well from it. I'm sure it was great for the table. And the talk.
I actually loved Red Table Talk, and I love the concept of it. And I feel like every time I watch an episode, they totally change my mind on a subject. Even the Jordan Woods thing, like, I think they let her off a little easy, but at the same time, like, Jada made a really good point. She was just like, you know, you're a 21-year-old girl who like kissed the wrong boy. Like, that happens to plenty of people, and their lives don't get ruined because of it.
Right. It's almost like the anti-cancellation table. Like,
yes, but they offer different. Well, so it's her daughter, her, and her mom. So it's like 3 generations, 3 totally different perspectives, which I think is like such a unique, refreshing type of content.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. But I feel like there was one that I just can't remember that she did that was really impactful as well.
It's a great, great show.
It's a great premise. And I don't think she could continue doing it if she didn't address the rumors that turned out to be true.
Right.
So I'm happy for them. I'm happy for the stands that everyone has like their explanation, can put a bow on it. Very brave of them to like just admit that it was true.
Right. Everyone hopefully got what they needed. At the end of the day, I'm glad they addressed it because it was getting so messy for a while when like August was like speaking on Jada and like no one was responding. And it was just like, they're like, to me, like Jada and Will are like so above this. So I'm glad like we're beyond this now, you know?
Yes.
It's done.
No, they really are. But it's always nice to see like real A-list celebrities in, you know, web show format. Like,
oh, you love to see it.
Or on a podcast. Like, it is very exciting. You do get to see them like you've never seen them before.
Yeah.
And so overall, it was enjoyable. And I'm glad that they're good. And good for them for just squashing it.
Yeah. It was a little awkward in the beginning. Like, you could feel the tension. Like, but
it's also edited.
Yes.
So, they get to the point pretty quickly.
It was good. I think it was the right PR move. Whoever's instructing them is obviously in tune with what's necessary.
Yes, definitely. Okay, next story. Speaking of talking, Tamera Mowry exits The Real after 7 years.
Crazy.
First, she announced on Monday that she is leaving The Real after 6 seasons. She said, quote, "For 7 years, my home and heart has been at The Real. The friendships that I've made there will last a lifetime, and the people that I've had the blessing to interview have changed my life for the better." Mowry added she is so proud of what the cast has accomplished, including 2 well-deserved NAACP Image Awards and a Daytime Emmy.
Wow.
However, all good things must come to an end. It's with a bittersweet smile that I announce that I'm moving on from The Real. To my fellow hosts, I love you, I will miss you, and I will always be there for you. Thank you for teaching me, supporting me, and loving all of me. She said she'll be rooting for her castmates from afar.
You know what? Like, if this was me and I had like a gig on a daytime show that was like on a network really popular, I made a lot of money, like I would never leave.
Yeah, well, this just begs the question, like, where is she going? Because it seems like a great gig. She's happy. She loves her fellow hosts.
And literally every host in America is going to be, like, vying to be her replacement.
So it leaves 2 questions. 1, where is she going? 2, who's going to take her spot?
Well, so can you remind me who are the other co-hosts currently on The Real? I know Lonnie Love is literally my favorite person. If you've ever seen her on Worst Cooks in America, it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Adrienne Bailon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jenny May.
Yeah.
And then Tamar Braxton, but she left in 2016.
Oh, okay.
Amanda Seales.
Oh. It'll be really interesting to see who they give this spot to because it's really coveted. People don't just leave jobs like that. And when they do, it's like whoosh, everyone wants it. So I'm curious, A, why she left. Even though it seems amicable, I don't think there's any drama.
No, but she might have gotten like even a better
gig somewhere else,
offer, which is exciting to hear where she goes.
Right, but if she doesn't, like, I just can't imagine. I mean, I guess 7 years is a long time, and like maybe she's like made enough money where she just wants to like be with her kids, which I totally get.
Or sometimes you just outgrow a thing, like to wake up and do the same thing every day for 7 years. Like you need to be challenged and excited. Excitement might excite her, and so
right.
She's
excited by the excitement. I feel that.
Yeah. So sometimes you just need to switch it up.
Yeah. Well, I'd be so curious to see who they replace her with.
Yeah.
So many good options. You know, I hope they dig more into the digital space. That's just always a good look for us.
That's very true.
Oh. Honestly, Rachel Lindsay, I mean, she's so busy.
She's so busy.
And honestly, I don't think she would move. I think they film in LA. I don't know if she would move to LA, and she has so much going on, but she would be fabulous.
She would, but I truly think she's too busy.
Me too.
Okay, ready for our fifth and final story? Because it's a little biz news. It's some exciting biz news, I would say. Zappos is now selling single shoes and mixed size pairs.
What?
You can now buy a single sandal or sneaker from Zappos or even mixed size pairs of running shoes. It's part of a push by the online retailer to cater to shoppers who naturally have different size feet, as well as those with prosthetics, which can create a need for mixed size shoes. Initially, Zappos, which is owned by Amazon, will offer the option for 6 brands: Nike, Billy Footwear, Converse, PLAE, Stride Right, and New Balance. The shoes will be available beginning Tuesday in all sizes and widths from toddler to adult, and they range in price from $17 to $85.
Jackie, say it again. The name of the brand.
PLAE.
No, the name of the brand.
Zappos.
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 You were literally being Australian. Like, I was dying.
Zappos.
Okay, I didn't realize that this was a thing. I think the next step is obviously we need to start selling bras with 2 different size cups, because that is a real problem. But I didn't know that different size foots. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Some people might have naturally. I have like one foot that's like a tiny bit fatter, but for the most part, like I fit into the shoes just fine. But I didn't think about like prosthetics. It's obviously like a huge market.
It's very exciting. It's very inclusive. And I think it's a great move.
I didn't even think like if you don't have a prosthetic, like one of those models has one leg, so obviously you would need one shoe. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, exactly. So now you can buy a single shoe.
Or if you have a pair of shoes and you lose one.
I was just thinking
that's what I thought.
I mean, is that what this is? It's not.
No, that's not what this is for. But it's another added benefit.
Now you can get a single shoe.
Interesting. Wow, I never thought that like this was like the next frontier in the shoe industry, but
I think it's a great move from Zappos. I'm a big fan of Zappos.
Because they have a fabulous theater in Vegas that we were going to see Kelly Clarkson at, but we had to get a refund for our tickets because of fucking coronavirus.
Yeah, and because one time they sent me a gift card and it was like I got so much stuff and it was so great.
No, Zappos is a fabulous. I'm saying it like Zappos.
Zappos.
They have fabulous commercials with like the beautiful neighborhoods where like the boxes are just like showing up on people's porches. It's fabulous.
It is really fabulous. So I think this is a great move by a fabulous brand. I just wanted to highlight it because that's what we do here at the Morning Toast.
And it's been a while since we had a little biz news, and it just feels good to
say that
and to step back into the business world, because
we're so highly respected and revered, and I think our colleagues in the business world were like, hey, what about us?
No, I mean, I don't know if everyone remembers. Maybe I should remind. Like, I was on CNBC once at the stock market, and people say it's one of the most iconic segments ever done. That's what they say, but I don't know if I agree with that.
It's definitely the most iconic segment I've ever watched of Squawk Alley.
It is also the only segment I've ever watched of Squawk Alley. Is that what it's called?
Squawk Alley?
Literally, when I was down there, when Snapchat went public, like they were just like looking for like young people to talk about it, and I was in here in makeup, and I literally remember Googling like, what does IPO stand for, because they told me they weren't gonna like talk about like so much financy stuff, but I didn't want to be. They just wanted to talk about the platform. Like, do we like Snapchat? Is it worth good money?
And also, like, you're informing them like based on how you feel about Snapchat. You're informing like, is this IPO worth it? What do the children actually think?
But I didn't even know what IPO meant. Like, I know that public just basically meant like Miranda and her husband were making a lot of money.
Miranda Kerr.
Yeah. But I didn't know, like, now I'm like, because of biz news, I'm obviously like so well versed.
You're like, it's an initial public offering.
Of course. And this was years ago, and it was $27 a share. And I did recommend to the audience that they not buy it. And so far, I've been totally right.
Oh, wow. I was going to say, I would love to watch a segment just to see if your advice was correct or your speculation, because I think we all know where Snapchat went.
Except, oh my God, there is a new Snapchat show. Like, I actually Ricky and Denzel. I literally might download Snapchat.
I saw the trailer yesterday. I thought the exact same thing. It looks so fucking good.
So obviously everyone knows Ricky and his crazy hilarious videos, and Denzel is his best friend, who I met on a like a branded trip in Vegas.
The Real World.
He was literally one of the funniest, coolest people. Everything he wore was Dior, like vintage Dior. He was so funny. And him and Ricky are like this hilarious duo, and they have a show now on Snapchat where it's basically like The Simple Life.
That's what the vibe I was getting as well.
They're going and doing like these crazy odd jobs, and they're both so funny. Like, I actually might download Snapchat to watch it.
I was thinking the same thing. I actually use Snapchat a lot now that I realize it, because American Camper is on Snapchat and she's always just snapping Counselor Snitch. Mm-hmm. So I already have Snapchat, and maybe it's on its way back up.
I don't think so.
Stock is soaring. No, don't buy Snap.
No, don't buy Snap. Honestly, I don't really have
Actually, like, maybe you should buy Snap, like, because of Ricky's show.
Right, and obviously it's pretty low right now, so it can really only go up.
Yeah.
Okay, now on to Kelly's Mindless News. I don't know why I took my cards, because it's here.
Kelly's Mindless News.
Like the 4th of July. You are going to plots from this story, okay? It's from AOL. Kelly Ripa gives us a rare look inside her home in new IG post. So if you were to imagine what this photo looks like.
Oh, no. If she's giving us a rare look into her home in a new IG post, I'm expecting actually a video home tour. Okay. Is what I'm expecting. That's what that headline warrants. Because they also said IG post, not IG photo. So I'm expecting a video if we're going to get an unseen look into her home.
So that's not what we got, actually. We got a selfie of her and Mark.
So you're lying.
With a wall behind them.
You're
literally
lying.
with one frame. I will show you the picture. We will post this on our Instagram. This is the inside peek at her home.
You're lying. Wait, there's it's a carousel. Keep
going.
Oh
yeah, her and her son in the doorway.
No,
that's it.
That can't be. Give it to me.
No, that's it. Let me read you the article.
Can I please scroll and make sure there's no additional photos?
What do you think? I'm dumb?
I legit don't believe you.
Look, there's no arrow.
No, scroll up and down the article. There's no additional photos with an inside look in her home.
No. Okay, ready? Man, there's so many ads on AOL.com. Okay, ready? Kelly Ripa is giving her followers another glimpse into her family home while simultaneously supporting mixed martial arts. What? On Tuesday, the Live with Kelly and Ryan co-host shared a slideshow of photos of herself, her hubby Mark Consuelos, and her son Joaquin sporting matching 6-gun t-shirts gifted to her by world-renowned MMA striking coach Brandon Gibson. And while we love to see the Ripa gang promoting fitness, we couldn't help but take a peek behind Kelly and Mark to admire their wall decor. You guys, I can't wait to post this picture because
it's a blank wall.
No, that's not even that. Kelly and Mark are the whole picture. I would say probably 1 inch of the photo you could see the wall.
No, you guys, now I'm actually, like, Kelly's Mindless News has always been, like, fun and funny, but now I'm concerned, like, I think there's something they're not telling us.
Conspiracy.
Like, this is a deeper conspiracy theory of, like, I don't know, maybe, like, Kelly, like, needs to get her Google search, like, switched up, and so, like, she just feeds these bullshit stories, but, like, you guys, she's not even showing her home.
Wait, here, ready?
This is a conspiracy.
While we only have a small glimpse, we are able to see a lamp.
No, but here's the thing.
A lamp, a few pieces of art, not true, and even part of an indoor plant.
You guys, this is insane. The headline says a rare
the wall art features a depiction of a woman or a stick figure, while another piece seems to match, but instead includes an entire family. Oh, and did we mention we are also loving the seafoam colored wall? Okay, it's literally beige. I don't know what they're talking about.
You guys, there's something going on here.
This is insane.
I'm sure of it. I've never been so sure of anything. This is not a news story. The headline doesn't, like, I don't know if AOL.com is going through a hard time or if Kelly is going, like, I don't know.
I'm going to suggest the latter.
I don't know where the cover-up is coming from, but it's coming.
It's coming. This is so insane. I could not believe it.
It's not even Kelly's Mindless News anymore. It's Kelly's cover-up.
Mindless lies. It's Kelly's mindless lies.
Kelly's mindless cover-up.
No, it's just, why are we working so hard to write up articles about Kelly Ripa? What's on the other side of this? What are we hiding? What are we covering up?
They're drawing attention to, like, they're actually making it worse for her because the more mindless the news is, and you know what? This is actually an insult to Mindless News because we love Mindless News here at the Morning
Mindless
Toast.
News. Like, Mindless News is like a celebrity commenting on another celebrity's Instagram.
It's just a staple of celebrity culture is the Mindless News.
And it's a staple of the Morning Toast.
So-and-so went out for some iced coffees.
Sickening.
Love the Mindless News. This is a whole new thing.
No, this one is actually, this might be crazier than the porch. Because
it is.
In terms of square footage, we actually did see like a rug and one chair in the porch one.
There was no lie there.
This is a fucking bald-faced lie, and it's insanity, and I cannot wait to post it on our Instagram.
You guys.
It's insane.
You think we're being crazy, but we're not.
By
the time this episode is up, like, we'll get that picture up stat. So right now you need to go to our Instagram and look at it because it is there, and it ain't right.
It ain't right, and that's what we do here at the Morning Toast. We point out things that ain't right.
Yeah, that is exactly what we do.
And Kelly's Mindless News is absolutely no exception. And Kelly's Mindless News, dare I say, is becoming the backbone of the show.
No, it is. Like, I feel as though we've kind of stumbled. Like, obviously it started out as a funny thing. Like, she obviously has a good relationship with People Magazine.
Right. It was meant to be a joke.
It was meant to be a joke, but now, like, it's something so much deeper.
We are, I think, about to uncover one of the biggest conspiracy theories in Hollywood. I'm 100% sure about it.
I think so, too.
That's the name of today's episode. Something ain't right.
Something ain't right.
You smell that? It smells fishy, okay?
Smells like a cover-up.
Smells like a lie.
Yeah.
Kelly's Mindless
And it smells like a cover-up, and not the one that she's been wearing to host Live with Kelly and Ryan.
But you know what? You won't believe what it looks like.
You won't believe
Insanity, you guys. I'm so glad we got that.
I'm so glad Theo was here for that, because he needs to see the difference.
No, he is, he's constantly in the media, and so he knows, like, what that kind of life is like. But, he tries not to let it get to him, but I think this is something he might actually want to know about.
I think so, too. You definitely want to know the truth.
Is there anything else we want to talk about before we wrap it up?
No, I didn't watch anything yesterday because I started a fabulous new book last night that I literally almost finished in one sitting. I had to put it down at 80%. It's called The Last Train to Key West. A couple people had recommended it, and it's just so good. A bit of historical fiction. I was just so enraptured in it, and I can't wait to go home and finish it.
I am so in on The Crown, and it's
yes.
It's getting so good. I got to the Jackie O episodes yesterday, which were so interesting, and to me, that's the type of shit. That's what I love about the Toast. It's celebrity logistics, little things you didn't know, and just these little conversations she had with Jackie O, and that whole episode was fabulous. Now I'm on the episode about Prince Charles's schooling.
That's what I was trying to tell you.
Which I just finished. So he goes to that terrible prison boarding school for 5 years because Prince Philip is so insane, and the Nazi connection of the royal family will never not give me chills.
I know, but they've really expunged it from anyone in the family who had any sort of Nazi connection,
except Prince Philip.
But Prince Philip,
he wasn't a Nazi, but he lived with his sister and her husband, who was a Nazi, and all their kids who all wore the red armbands.
Oh shit, yeah. That's
and
bad.
When he went to her funeral, and it was literally he was a high commanding Nazi, and literally it was a whole parade with Nazis just chilling.
I don't even remember that.
Prince Philip walking down behind the casket with all these fucking Nazis. It's hard to forget that.
Yeah, that is very chilling.
It was chilling. But he did end up growing up at that school, so we didn't grow up with Nazis anymore because very sadly the Nazis all died in that plane crash. I was devastated. So he is technically he can wash his hands of the Nazisms because his dad was neglectful and made him live with his sister who happened to be a Nazi, and that was his primary guardian, and she was a Nazi. He really had nowhere else to go. So when they, thankfully died, he had to live at that school, which was obviously a mean boarding school, but it was better than growing up with fucking Nazis.
Yeah. And also about that boarding school, it's definitely a crazy school, but he really loved it, and it became family for him.
Yeah.
And it was, they definitely had a harsh way of
teaching kids,
but
it's not for everyone.
He found it to be beneficial. It's not for the faint of heart, and that is Charles.
Well, so now that we're learning so much more about Charles, I feel I'm fairly certain that he probably won't be king.
So this is the big conversation just for amongst royalists. I don't know how they can skip over him. It's never really been done.
Well, here are the reasons why I think that he should be skipped over. One, he's super old. What would be the point? Two, he's tainted because he is remarried to someone who was divorced, right? Doesn't that make him...
he's divorced.
Yeah, but it doesn't count if the person who he's divorced from died, remember? That's a rule in...
Oh, interesting.
That's why Princess Margaret couldn't marry Peter Townsend, because his wife was still alive.
Got it.
So I feel and he's just, from what I know about him, from being in the public eye and now watching, he's just ill-equipped.
Yeah, he's ill-equipped. He's not like our girl, the Queen, who is very royal and stately and above the fray. He's very much in the mix and makes his positions about a lot of things known, and that's just not the royal behavior.
Way of doing things.
That's not the royal way of doing things.
And I feel like because Queen Elizabeth has had like such a successful long reign, they might want to continue that. And when and if William becomes king, like he will be young, he will be the same age at like when Elizabeth started. So it'll be like back to back, like long, hopefully triumphant reigns.
Yeah, I agree. I think all the reasons are there for them to skip over him. I just don't know how they can do that. It's not really a thing that's done.
Right. Unless he did something terrible, like King George's brother, like be a Nazi and then abdicate for the woman you love.
He had to abdicate because he fell in love with a divorced woman.
That's what I'm saying. Like there are reasons. They could find a loophole in like the whole system to give the throne up for Charles.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
But some royal experts said that's just not even a possibility and it's never going to happen. And so I've kind of moved on from.
So what I'm taking away from The Crown, which is probably two things I'm taking away that I'm actually really enjoying, is like, one, it is nice to watch things that like expand my worldview and like make me understand history a little bit more. And two, like I'm very familiar with the royal family, but I'm not always familiar with how they're all connected, like who is who is whose son, who is whose brother. And so now just watching it, starting with Elizabeth, Andrew was born and I'm like, Jeffrey Epstein, Prince Andrew. Oh, that's Charles's brother. Like just connecting all the dots is actually really helpful for me as someone who just like is interested in the royal family and talks about them a lot on my platform. Understanding how they're all connected familially is super important, I think.
And do you feel like watching The Crown and understanding the institution that is the royal family makes you feel differently about Harry and Meghan?
Well, yes, obviously now it's like, wow, what they did was so disgraceful. But at the same time, it's like this life is so, and you can't choose it. Like you are born into it. And obviously people see like the glitz and the glam and the butlers, which by the way, like what I've also taken away from The Crown is that like I need to be the queen, because like just having all these butlers who like get you dressed and like bring you food and like literally do everything for you, open all the doors. Like I need that level of service in my life.
But she is on like 24/7 from the moment she wakes up. Like she doesn't just get to like lay in bed and watch TV.
With her butler bringing her croissants.
No, It doesn't work like that. Like she has to get up, put on her suit, carry her purse and her little heels, walk down the hall, get to work, doing paperwork, and then she gets a croissant.
Well, that's the thing is like, so what I feel like The Crown has opened my eyes to is like, royal life is obviously not what you think it is. It's quite mundane. It's mundane, and it is this burden to like not be able to like live your true life and like having to always be in like the way that people perceive you, because it's supposed to be like this aspirational like family, when meanwhile they're all like dying on the inside. Like they're miserable. So for Harry and Meghan, it's like, but also, then I also feel like, why doesn't The Crown just like let up sometimes? Like even with Princess Margaret, it's like, she's not going to be queen. Like let her marry whoever the fuck she wants. Like she's quote unquote irrelevant. Like who cares? But I get that it's like the integrity of the crown, the integrity of the crown, the integrity of the crown. But so with Harry, it was like, he's not going to be king. Let him marry whoever he wants. And he did. And look what happened. So I'm on both sides where I'm like, I'm very much like a champion of the crown and like keeping the integrity while also moving into the modern era. And I think that Meghan Markle was a sensational choice because she was divorced and because it's a completely white family. Like it sends a bad message. It's like, okay, look, we progressed. Look what happened.
Yeah.
The family is broken. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I do hope that they get to that. I mean, I don't know if they'll get to Meghan, but I hope they get to like Diana.
I don't think they're going to get to Meghan. They just said, I think we're going to get 2 more seasons because just some news came out that they're going to do a season 6. Diana will be next season.
Got it.
They've already cast her. And that'll be exciting when the Kristen Stewart Diana movie comes out too.
Right,
and
so many.
Of course, it's all Snow White all over again, and Kristen Stewart's right in the middle of it.
I mean, I could use like a little bit of like William and Kate.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Maybe that's how they'll end it. Like,
because he's the king.
Because he's the next king, and like that's the next crown, and then maybe in 100 years, like Netflix will do, or 50 years, Netflix will do like The Crown.
Yeah.
Starting with William's beginning of his reign. Probably not, but I think that would actually be a great way to end it, like ushering in who will be the new king.
But you know what? It's just so interesting with all the marriages, because what I find so interesting is that like whenever anyone gets married, it's like the crown is never really happy about it. Like I remember even in modern times with Kate Middleton, like she was technically a commoner and everyone's like, she's a commoner, she's a commoner, she's a commoner. But when Queen Elizabeth married a prince, Philip, whose grandmother was Queen Victoria, like it was a huge problem.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a problem because he had like weird Nazi connections. It was a problem because they didn't think he was good enough.
Yeah, which is so crazy.
Right. And then Princess Margaret is like out here marrying a photographer who's engaged in some sort of throuple.
Right. And they were right about Prince Philip like not being good enough, but he learned like eventually.
He did. And now I'm at the point where it's like we're not talking about their marriage anymore. Like he's pretty much settled.
He's on board.
He's on board, but he's still not right. Like he's he's so engulfed in his own like selfishness that he's like always like threatening his marriage, where he knows they can't get, excuse me,
bless you,
he knows that they can't get divorced, but like with the school thing, he was like, you know,
he's so stubborn, and like he
pulls the one card that he has, being a husband,
and he like just is so desperate for some sort of power in his marriage because like he's married to the most powerful woman in the world, and he just like feels the need to constantly like flex. But you know what, eventually, at least this is how I felt, and I don't remember the intricacies of every episode, but I do feel like eventually he does become like a better husband. He stops like philandering and just looking for something that he's never gonna have.
Yes, no, he's not philandering anymore.
No, but he starts to become like someone that she can actually like go to for advice, and I think like actually a smart person.
And that's what he wanted. He just wanted to be like included the whole time.
But when he was a dummy, I don't
running
want
around
advice.
with his friend Michael.
But now, like in the most recent season, I feel like she would go to him for stuff, and he always had like a firm and legit perspective. I don't know if she always went with his advice, but it was always interesting to hear from him.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just, I feel like I'm having just like interesting conversations about The Crown, and that's the type of content that I like to consume that really stimulates my brain. I think for a while I intentionally only watched stupid shit, and shit I had seen a million times because I just was too anxious about the idea of like opening myself up to new TV shows. It sounds so stupid, but I'm really enjoying The Crown, and I had a dream about the Queen, and I'm just a queen. I'm a disgraced queen, and she's the real queen.
Yeah.
Speaking of, if you're looking for something fabulous to watch, head over to my Instagram stories to find some links for where to watch my comedy special. So many people watch it. I can't believe people are still watching it. Like, that's what's crazy. It's like you release something in like a day, everyone's like listening to it.
That's how it feels these days. No, but that's why we have to just keep saying on this show that if you haven't watched it yet, like you are robbing yourself of a wonderful hour and 45 minutes. And it is pretty long. I know, Claudia.
It's an hour and 12 minutes, but.
Oh, sorry. I know that you are very critical of other people's.
Right, and that's why I wouldn't make it more than an hour and a half.
Right, but not less than that either.
Yes, of course.
It's really quite fabulous.
Thank you. You can head over to my Instagram story. I have a highlight called Disgraced Queen, which is links to all the places you could stream, rent, buy, listen to the audio, or watch the video. So just check it out. And thank you guys so much for all the support.
And that's all she wrote.
Right? Thank you guys so much for listening to the Morning Toast, the Millennium Morning Show, where we go on YouTube Monday through Friday at a certain time. We're also available as a podcast anywhere podcasts can be found. So that's Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Radio, iHeartRadio, CastBox, all the places wherever you listen to podcasts. Find us, The Morning Toast, and leave a 5-star review about how beautiful, stunning, and smart we are. We love you guys so much. Have a great day.
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.